as I was stripping the hardtop, I found some of these rust pits and holes. So these holes here, there, found this on the driver's side. It was all filled with body filler, just regular body filler. It's a big hole. Found this right here. Then I have that hole there. I knew I already had that one, but these all came out as I was stripping the hardtop. And the way I'm gonna take care of these holes is with this here. Some of this Bondo glass. Then I also bought this right here, which is a patch. It has an adhesive in the back of it. Alright, so I already put on the little screen, as you could tell there. Took some time trying to get it in there, maneuver it in a way that it will stay on, and once I start pressing on it, it would actually stay on and not fall in. So that one's done. And then same thing with this one over here. Like I said, it took some time trying to get it in a way that it will stay on there. So as you can see, there's like a little piece sticking out that's on top. Same thing with here, right there. As you can see, it's kind of over the top, but this material looks like it's like you could sand it. Even if I get through on the Bondo glass, I'll be able to sand it down and it'll come off. It's not like it's gonna stick out or anything like that, so I should be all right. So now that those two pieces are done, I can start mixing the Bondo glass and start spreading it. So I already spread out the Bondo glass. Came out pretty good. Came out pretty good right here, how it spread out. And then here, had that little hole. There I did cover it with the Bondo glass. But it looks ugly how it spread. It's just the little strains of hair that the Bondo glass has in it is what makes it really hard to spread when it's not like a wide area like this. Like this area was pretty good to spread. I didn't have that much of a problem, but when it comes to these areas here that have different shapes and you're trying to not round it off, it doesn't come out as great. It looks real nasty. So as long as it covers the holes that I wanted it to cover, I guess I'm gonna shape it up and hit it with the 40 grit. And here's the side where I did put that little mesh inside of there. So the mesh actually didn't fall in, so it stayed on there. And I'm really happy how this side came out pretty good. Obviously, I'm gonna have to shape it, but it spread out nicely. Then back here, the hole that was there, the mesh didn't go through. Actually, I think you can see part of the mesh there, right there. That's actually the mesh. So I'm gonna be able to sand that down and shape it up as well. And then here, same thing, the holes that I have here. So I'm gonna shape this up too, but it dries pretty quick. You know, I used a little bit of hardener, but it still kept kicking pretty fast, so I had to mix it 2 or 3 times. But there it is. I ended up getting me one of these quick sheets. It actually makes a huge difference on cleanup when it comes to switching or mixing some more. You didn't mix enough, it's pretty quick. Just rip it off, throw it away, and do another one, and just clean the little pad or the little spreader. I was always used to using this right here. Didn't have a problem with it until I started to mix more and more and more. Just had to clean, and then use it again. So that's where the problem was. So time to start spreading that body filler. I'm gonna do this whole quarter panel here, the whole top here. Add some body filler to this side. I'll start working on the door later on, but I'll merge the 2 videos together. But I'm gonna start doing the body filler here. So body filler is on the quarter panel. Got to hit a 40 grit in a bit. So one area that's going to test my hobbyist bodywork skills is going to be this area here, because the Monte Carlo has a line that goes down right here and it goes here. It's pretty sharp here, and then it kind of fades away. So you know, that's going to really test me. We'll see how that comes out. Obviously I'm going to go for it. The hood did test me a bit, but you know, here we are with the hood already primed and ready to go. So we'll see how that goes. The door, put some body filler on a couple of those dings there. Still have to add some body filler here. And then this, already hit it with 40 grit. This is Bondo glass. Already hit it with 40 grit. I'm gonna add a lightweight or a skim coat of the lightweight body filler just for the pinholes. 40 grit time. I'm glad I bought a roll of this 40 grit. I've always started off scuffing these body filler spots with 80 grit. Now with the 40 grit, I was hitting the Bondo glass and man, that crap was coming off so quick. So I'm hoping the same thing with here, and it's gonna speed up this whole situation here. Knock this down, then switch over to 80 grit. But I'm glad I did it. Let's go. Going to add some more body filler right here in these dark green areas here, and I am gonna put a little bit more here. And then I'm gonna add some more here. Didn't block out evenly. Then I am gonna put a little bit more right here in this edge right here, and then I'm gonna keep blocking the rest of the passenger side. The rough shaping is already done. On the door and the fender, I did spray some of the guide coat. I am gonna try the dry guide coat. I did buy this one here. I'm gonna apply it to the quarter panel and try it out there. This is my first time trying this out. It was recommended to me on Instagram, so I'm gonna give it a go. Doesn't hurt to try anything new. So I'm gonna keep going on this. Hit it with 120 grit right now and start removing all those 80 grit scratches. So I blocked the whole thing already with that guide coat, took off all that guide coat. So now I'm gonna step it up to 180 grit, and then I'm gonna go ahead and primer this whole passenger side and the rooftop. Now for the body work on these pits, they're already cured or taken care of with that white vinegar and water. So I'm actually gonna seal it with epoxy, and then I'm gonna do the body work after the epoxy seals all this. I don't wanna put body filler on top of these because, you know, I don't want to risk it and trap moisture in there, and then that rust, if it ever does continue, it's gonna eat up that body filler. So for the most part right now, that white vinegar and water did take care of it, and it should be good to go. But you know, take that extra step and just put epoxy over it. And like I said, I'm gonna primer it again. I'm gonna do 2 coats of epoxy, and then I'm gonna do 2 coats of some of that 2K urethane primer. I usually use the Eastwood 2K urethane primer, the low VOC primer, but they were out of stock and I gotta keep going. I'm not gonna wait for them to stock it up. So I went to my local paint supply store, automotive paint supply store, and I got me the high tech. Never tried it. I'm gonna try it. This is gonna be my first time, so do the same process that I'm usually doing, which is, like I said, two passes or 2 coats of the epoxy, and then 2 coats of that urethane primer, which is this one now. So we'll find out. I still have to take off the front piece here. I did see that there's another dent right here. Where is it at? Where are you? But I already scuffed it a little bit. But there's a dent. Oh, it's right here. It's right at the edge. So once I take this off, I'm gonna take off all this primer that it's here on this edge here, and then I'm gonna go ahead and put some filler there. So I'm gonna try to get this line a lot better, the gap. So I have it too big over here, and then it goes small down there. So I'm gonna try to loosen up these these fender bolts and see if I could get that as straight as I can, or gapped as, you know, better than what it is now. So we'll see. So I was able to move the gap and it actually worked out for me. So I removed one of these spacers that's here. I added two here, and then inside the door I did add one in here, and then I removed one from here, and it actually worked out. Check it out. It's all tightened down already. But look at that. Big difference a 1/16 of an inch makes. So it looks really good. And then for me, lesson learned, always do the gaps first and then do the body work. So right here, the fender's a little high right here, so I'm just gonna block it again and go down, but it should be fine. It should be all right. But I'm really happy with the way the gap came out. Look at that. It looks a lot better than what it did before. So I'm happy with that. Moving on. So we're ready for primer. So I already masked off that whole other side over there. It's ready to go. And I'm just cleaning up this side over here so that way I can start masking. So one thing that I'm doing is I use one of these rags here to clean the back of the wheel well. So that way I'm able to stick the tape back here, and that way I could do the whole backside here and then cover the whole wheel well. But I cleaned it up. You can see some of the crap that came out, but I used this, and then I gotta start masking off the rest of it. And then yeah, the other side is pretty good. And another thing is that, like I said, this is the area that was gonna test the skills over here, but we'll see. Like, it all went by feel and by the eye of the tiger. Because this right here, like I said, it has a sharp line and it fades out. And I think I did okay, but I don't know, because I gotta see with the primer how it's gonna look, how it actually looks with light, and then wet check it and do all that great stuff. If I have to touch it up again, then so be it, but I'll do it. I'll take care of it. I'll do my best to try to get it as good as I can. Obviously looking at the driver's side and see how the driver's side is lining up, and then I'll do the passenger side. But that's how I did it right now. Since it's like all different colors and stuff, it's kind of hard to tell. And then by feel, you can't really use a Geico because it has that curve and how it comes out. So we'll find out. We'll find out how good the eye of the tiger is. Let's go. So what I ended up doing is I loosened up all the wheel well screws that are here, or bolts, so that way I could stick the tape behind it, and then I could flip it over like this, and that way I could protect that wheel well, and then go all the way around. That's what I ended up doing, and then I'm gonna cover the wheel well here with that paper. So now we're ready for primer. It's all masked off. It's not a really good job at the masking. I mean, might look good on here, but for example, like these pockets here, that pocket there, I need to get better at that type of stuff. What else? Pretty much pockets like that, from what I've seen and learned, is when you're spraying in areas here and those pockets collect the paint, when you're going back again, it will blow it out and it would mess up the paint job. But this is primer. I am trying to figure out how to do this the best way. I am gonna use a shirt next time to cover the wheels, and I will probably not cover up the wheel wells, and that way I could just later on paint them again and put some of that undercoat stuff under the wheel wells there. For right now, I masked it off because I don't want to cake it on there, you know, primer and then base coat and then clear and all that stuff. It's just gonna build up, but pretty much is ready to go. I'm gonna clean all this up, blow everything off. I am gonna blow off like everywhere, just like a little bit more PSI that I'm gonna use to actually lay the primer, so that way if anything comes off I could fix it now and not, you know, let that happen right in the middle of me primering it, where it's just gonna blow off and then I'm kind of screwed. I'm not gonna be able to fix it at that time, and I'm just gonna keep going. I don't think I'm gonna get any overspray here. I'll probably throw some old shirts over it just so that way I don't get anything on the motor, any overspray there. So here's like another like pockets here, that type of stuff, you know, things like that. Obviously you got to work on that, but ready to go. I'm primer right now. Hit it up, hit that time lapse real quick, and then be done with it. Well, that's easier said than done, right? Be done with it, but be done with the primer part of it, the first primer session. Boom, let's go. I did end up putting tape right there in that little pocket, so that one's taken care of. So the spout on the damn air compressor got messed up, that's why it's leaking. I'm gonna have to take it off of that one and put it on that big one, but that was in the middle of the spray. So there it is. I did 2 coats of epoxy and then 2 coats of the 2K primer, the urethane primer. I started messing with the PSI, like right here. You can tell right there it was starting to sag. It looks like crap. So right here it actually sagged a little bit, right there, but these are the only areas that came out like that. That's what I get for messing around with the PSI, with the pressure in the middle of the spray. Well, you're gonna learn today, so learn today, don't do that. So yeah, but there it is. Let it sit for a couple weeks and then I'm gonna start blocking it. I really like the way it came out, except for that area there where it started to sag, and then that crap there. Well, it looks like I'm gonna have to rework it again or work on it some more. I don't like the way it came out. It doesn't look nice. It doesn't even look straight. Like right here, it goes like that and then it kicks over and it goes down. I don't know if you can see it there, but yeah, so right here, boom, and then kicks. So I'm gonna have to mess with that, lay some tape there and then shape up that line and go from there. Another thing I gotta work on is get my technique better on spraying the top here. You see all those tiger stripes all over the hard top, so that's no good. Especially because I'm gonna spray a pearl color on this. I don't want any of those tiger stripings on top of there. I mean, the side of the car here, they didn't come out with any tiger striping because that means my overlap was pretty good, but up here, as you could tell, I really got to work on that crap. The angle and the what is it called, the overlap. Look at that right there. It's a real bad one, and I think it's because I'm scared of touching the panel when I'm leaning over. I'm so scared of touching the panel that I don't concentrate on my technique here, so I need to work on that. Obviously, practice makes perfect. I'm not looking for perfect. I'm just looking for a good paint job. Especially, like I said, with that pearl color, it's not gonna look all that great. So I made this little contraption here. It's a regular blower filter, air conditioner filter, blowing air in. This is 1-inch foam, which is this. Got it from Lowe's, and that's pretty much my inlet airflow. So trying to get that in, and then 2 fans, 1 fan on this side and the other one on the other side, trying to blow all the out. But I like the way that this came out. The only thing is that I don't think there's enough airflow trying to come from that way this way and blowing it out. I need to make something here to where it blocks it off and only the fans are making the air exit or exiting through the fans and then going from there. But I am thinking of building like a ghetto booth here, so we'll see. So one thing I noticed when I was putting on the tape right here on the windshield, I was looking at this and I was like, oh, look at that. It doesn't look like it's sticking on. So I go and I push it from the inside. Look at that crap. So now I have to replace the damn windshield. I wasn't trying to do that, but now it does it on both sides. I just checked the other side too, and well, here we are. Got to replace this stupid ass windshield now, so more work. I don't know if I should do that to the back window too, because whenever they put this window on here, they just glued all over the clips. So I'm gonna at least be able to take out all these and replace them all when I take off this windshield. So there goes more work. Let's do it, son. So one thing I do want to mention about my inexperience in doing this and how I learned my lesson this time around. So you probably can't see it in the camera, but the primer did lay a little bit dry, or a whole lot dry. And that was because I was looking at the tech sheet for the primer, the high-tech primer. And for whatever reason, I read the siphon adjustments for the gun, and it said 35 to 45 PSI. And I'm using a HVLP gun, so I'm not using a siphon gun. So this is where the mistake was, that I was reading the wrong one. I'm used to spraying the primer with 29 PSI. You know, you're supposed to spray between 20, I believe it's 22 to 25 PSI, so that way it lays nice. But I'm always spraying it at 29. So I'm like, you know what, this is a new primer for me. I'm going to spray it with the way that the tech sheet says. And the tech sheet said 35 to 45 PSI, so that's what I did. And you guys can probably see it in the video where I start adjusting the primer or the settings on the gun as I'm spraying, because I didn't like it. But I'm like, man, this primer says 35 to 45. So I need to be within that. So, and that's what I ended up doing. Like I said, that's where the inexperience comes into play. And I learned my lesson. You know, pretty much look at it twice, 3, 4, 5 times before you even start spraying to make sure you're spraying the right way. So now it created a little bit more work for me, because it is rough, but I am still gonna block this. But now I know. So I just wanted to mention that on there. Just, you know, look at your tech sheet a whole bunch of times, a lot, right before you start spraying. And then obviously, you know what they say is pray before you spray. But I learned my lesson. You can see it more on top. There's tiger striping here, but right here is where it's the driest. You can hear it. And I just wanted to mention how easy it made to clean up all these cups. I kept mixing them, and I didn't have to worry about cleaning the cup on the gun or anything like that. I just took them off, and then these, let them dry up, and then I'm gonna throw them away. So man, the ease of this. All I did was clean the actual spray gun with this, the injector, put that little piece on there, and just went in there and knocked it out. So when I went to go primer with the epoxy, I did that, did 2 coats, and then I cleaned it with that spray and went with it. I didn't even take the gun apart or anything like that. I just, like I said, I just sprayed it with this inside of there and brushed it off, and then moved on to the urethane primer and made it so much quicker, so much faster.